Dunedin South MP Clare Curran dropped in her party's rankings this year, but she stayed vocal, recently in particular on Telecom's infrastructure company Chorus. She joins us tonight for a look back on the year. Good evening, Clare.
Good evening.
What are your overall thoughts on the past 12 months?
Well, first of all, can I say Happy Christmas to you
and
to all of the crew and to everyone watching out there tonight, because you do a great job in the city. It certainly has been an eventful year. It's been a really eventful year for Labor. We've managed to get a referendum up on asset sales. We've had 2 by-elections, both of which we've won. We lost one of our members of Parliament, Clare Curran, but we've gained 2 new members in Parliament. So there's been and we've got a new leader. So it's been a really eventful year.
Now, speaking of that new leader, when he took over, you lost your broadcasting portfolio and you dropped out of the Labor's top 25. What are your thoughts on where you stand politically within the party?
Well, yes, I did lose some portfolios. I've taken it on the chin and I've been working really hard, and I'm just getting on with things and intend to keep on working really hard.
What's the feeling within Labor now that David Cunliffe has taken over?
Oh, I think there's a mood for change generally out there in the electorate. I do a lot of knocking on doors. People are saying to me, oh yes, I'm going to vote Labor this time. And I say, well, didn't you vote Labor last time? Oh no, I voted National because, you know, of this reason or that reason, but they've changed their mind. So I think there is a mood for change. A couple of weeks ago we won a by-election resoundingly in Christchurch East, and I think that shows that next year's going to be a challenging year for the Prime Minister and the National Party.
What do you think Labor needs to do to close the gap?
Do what we do best, which is get out on the ground, knock on doors, talk to people, and focus on the issues that really matter to people, whether it's housing, whether it's jobs, whether it's their wages, whether it's the cost of living, electricity prices, things that actually really matter to people in their lives. Child poverty is another one. We're seeing the gap closing, the gap widening in New Zealand. There's a lot of work to do in those areas, and that's what we need to focus on.
Now, as we said just before, you've been quite vocal regarding Chorus. What's the issue there?
Well, it really comes down to whether or not the government should bail out a private company and give it a leg up, essentially, because it says it can't manage to deliver on a contract with the government on the prices on copper broadband. It's quite complicated, but it goes to the heart of a lot of things. Corporate welfare, we call it. So should the government bail out a private company, and should the government also override a decision of the regulator, the Commerce Commission? We say no, that there should be that contract should be enforced. So I guess watch the space next year. You know, broadband could become an election issue because we all use it, we all need it, we all want to be able to afford it. So you know, should a private company get a handout and consumers end up paying a bit more?
Now, what stands out most for you from your year in Parliament?
Well, you know, I get asked that question, and there's lots of things that I could answer, but it really comes back to my electorate and the things that really make a difference in people's lives. Whether it's getting somebody into a house, in Housing New Zealand House, when they come into your office on a Friday afternoon, or getting a young mum with a baby that she was bottle feeding who had her electricity cut off on a Friday afternoon, and I managed to get the company to reconnect it that night. Those are the sorts of things that really do make a difference in people's lives, where you see their faces, that make you realise just how important it is, the work of an electorate MP is. So they're small things, but they add up and they make it feel worthwhile.
And just quickly, what are your plans for election year?
Well, I'm planning on putting my hat in the ring again for Dunedin South if the Labor Party in Dunedin South wants to have me, and I hope to stand next year, and I hope to help win a Labor government next year.
Dunedin South Labor MP Clare Curran, thank you very much
for
your time. Merry Christmas.
Same to you.